CD Projekt Red became a prominent name in the ARPG genre following the commercial success of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Known for creating complex storylines, large open worlds, and distinct characters, the studio has influenced modern fantasy RPGs. The announcement of a new Witcher saga, codenamed Project Polaris, has sparked widespread interest, with fans awaiting more information about the upcoming title, The Witcher 4. In this video, we'll cover everything we know about The Witcher 4, including confirming details, technological advancements, and potential speculations. CDPR has made it very clear that The Witcher 4 will kick off a whole new saga moving beyond Geralt of Rivia's story after the conclusion of The Witcher 3. And while the next game is set to introduce a new protagonist and fresh gameplay, there are subtle hints that the story might be connected to Geralt, though his direct involvement seems unlikely. One of the biggest clues stirring up speculation is the teaser image of a Lynx medallion, leading to thoughts that the game might introduce School of the Lynx, a Witcher school we haven't seen before. CD Projekt Red hasn't confirmed this yet, but the medallion hints that this new school could play a significant role in the story. The Lynx school might bring a fresh take on how Witchers operate, potentially challenging the usual stance of neutrality by getting involved in political issues or moral dilemmas in a way the School of Wolf never did. And although The Witcher 4 is moving beyond Geralt's story, it's been mentioned that he will appear in some form, whether as a mentor, side character, or in flashbacks. It seems like CDPR isn't completely shutting the door on Geralt, even with a new narrative focus. There's also a lot of talk about Ciri returning. She was a key character in the previous games, and with her Elder Blood powers, her story has plenty of potential. Some people are even hoping she could be the main protagonist this time around. There's also speculation about having multiple protagonists, like in The Witcher 3, where you could switch between Geralt and Ciri. CDPR is known for creating morally complex characters, so mixing new and familiar faces could lead to some compelling storytelling. Another interesting possibility is the chance to create your own Witcher. If The Witcher 4 allows players to customize their own Witcher, it could open up new gameplay options with different fighting styles and ethical choices. However, it seems more likely we'll see a pre-established character as the main focus, possibly with some customization options included. Overall, The Witcher 4 looks like it's set to be an exciting new chapter for the series, but it's clear we'll have to wait a bit before we can play it. CDPR has mentioned they're moving into full production soon, but given their careful development approach, the final product probably won't be ready for a while. Still, the mix of new challenges, deeper moral choices, and a fresh perspective on the Witcher world is definitely something to look forward to. In The Witcher 4, CD Projekt Red has made the decision to switch from their in-house REDEngine to the Unreal Engine 5, addressing some long-standing issues that the REDEngine had, but also introducing new challenges. While the REDEngine delivered incredible visuals in The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, it was not without flaws. Many players experienced optimization problems, especially on consoles, and the engine's ability to handle large open-world environments smoothly was inconsistent. Unreal Engine 5, with its proven tools and widespread industry use, offers better scalability and more robust support for creating massive, detailed worlds without these same optimization issues. That said, Unreal 5 comes with its own set of issues. While it promises to eliminate some of the performance bottlenecks seen with REDEngine, Unreal Engine 5's focus on pushing graphical fidelity and environmental detail can also be taxing on hardware. Players, especially those with mid-range or older setups, may run into performance drops or stuttering due to the sheer scale of assets and features like Nanite and Lumen. Additionally, Unreal Engine 5 is currently not fully optimized for PC, which could lead to further issues like frame dips or instability, especially on rigs that aren't equipped with the latest hardware. Games using this engine are also expected to consume massive amounts of memory space, which may be a concern for players with limited storage. CDPR will have to balance these cutting-edge features with the need for a smooth gameplay experience, as the more complex systems can sometimes lead to inconsistent frame rates or long loading times, particularly in highly detailed areas or during intense action sequences. With all that pointed out, though, it's worth noting that character models and facial animations are set for a big upgrade. The Witcher 3 already had memorable cutscenes and character interactions, but Unreal Engine 5's advanced rendering and metahuman creator should elevate these even more. Expect lifelike character movements and more expressive faces, making interactions feel dynamic. Subtle details like a smirk or a glance could add depth to conversations, making the narrative even more immersive than it was in The Witcher 3. Combat is another area where Unreal Engine 5 could have a big impact. CDPR has hinted at a more fluid and mobile combat system, and with the engine's advanced animation capabilities, swordplay and dodging might feel smoother. This is definitely something The Witcher could benefit from. Environmental physics could allow players to set traps or use weather effects in creative ways during battle. It's worth mentioning that CDPR now has dedicated combat designers, which adds a layer of confidence and how fights might evolve from previous entries. Mounted combat could see significant improvements as well. While Roach has been a series staple, full-scale battles on horseback could introduce a new dynamic. Whether it's racing through forests or charging across open fields, Unreal Engine 5 could help create these encounters, but not without risk of performance hitches due to the engine's heavy demands. Fans will want to keep an eye on how these advancements balance with system performance as more details comes out. For The Witcher 4, we think a few quality of life improvements could really take the immersion and gameplay up a notch. First off, an auto-loot system would be a game changer. Imagine being able to automatically grab rare or quest-related items while skipping the junk. It saves so much time on inventory management and let players focus more on the adventure itself instead of sorting through piles of stuff. A more flexible fast travel system would also be awesome. Instead of being tied to signposts, why not let players teleport from anywhere within a zone, as long as they're not in combat or maybe by using a spell or a medallion? It would keep things immersive while cutting down on unnecessary travel time. Another great idea is to improve the quest tracking system. It'd be super helpful to have multiple quest markers on the map at once, so players could plan their journey more efficiently, maybe even filtering by quest types or regions. And to keep the screen less cluttered, how about a dynamic HUD that minimizes when you're just exploring and expands only when you need it, like during combat or when checking stats? Inventory management could also use some improvements. Advanced filters, automatic item stacking, and a junk classification system would make it easy to sell off low-value items without having to go through everything manually. Plus, we think the preparation mechanics could be a bit more strategic, like having to meditate before battle to pick your potions, oils, and bombs. It'd add a layer of challenge and thoughtfulness, staying true to The Witcher's world. Visually, we think the weather and environmental effects should have more of an impact on gameplay. Rain could make surfaces slippery, or fog could reduce visibility, adding a bit more challenge and realism to the world. NPCs could also get an upgrade with more lifelike schedules and reactions. They could follow daily routines, react to what's happening in the world, and respond to your actions, making the world feel more alive and dynamic. Having a transmog system for our equipment would also be a very welcome feature. There are several equipment in The Witcher 3 that look amazing but become unwearable by the end of the game due to poor stats. If we had a transmog system that allows us to wear armor with good stats and then wear other armor as cosmetic, it will no doubt make playing the game way better. Bringing these features to The Witcher 4 would definitely improve the experience, making it more immersive and seamless while also addressing some of the practical aspects of gameplay. It'd strike a great balance between depth and accessibility, giving players more control without losing that sense of challenge and realism that makes the series so special. As the Witcher series evolved, a lot of nifty features from the earlier games were dropped out, often to simplify things or make room for new ideas. But now, with a new game engine and more room to experiment, it might be time to bring back some of those older features in The Witcher 4. Here are a couple things that could make a comeback. Combat stances from The Witcher 1. In the original Witcher, Geralt had 3 different combat styles: strong, fast, and group. Each one let you switch up your fighting style based on who you were up against. By The Witcher 3, they replaced this with a more action-focused combat system, but bringing back stances could add a nice layer of strategy if done properly. Think of how Ghost of Tsushima lets you switch stances depending on your enemy type, or how Dante and Devil May Cry 5 changes styles on the fly. Bringing stances back would give players more options in combat, making it feel a bit more tactical. They could even add a skill tree for these stances so you can level them up. For instance, upgrading the fast stance could let you chain more attacks, while focusing on the group stance might give you a better area of effect damage or counters. It would bring back some of the strategic decision-making from the early games. Dice Poker from The Witcher 1 and 2. Remember Dice Poker from The Witcher 1 and 2? It was a fun little minigame that was super simple, but still really enjoyable. The Witcher 3 swapped it out for Gwent, which became a huge hit, but why not have both? Bring back Dice Poker, and while we're at it, throw in fist fighting and arm wrestling too. Having a variety of minigames to break up all monster hunting is always a good time. They could even take it up a notch and have tournaments for these minigames with useful rewards that help you in the main game. It would add some extra fun for players who like to take a break from quests now and then. Final thoughts. With The Witcher 4 reportedly entering full production soon, it's clear that we're in for a long wait before we can actually play. CDPR seems to be taking their time, especially after the rocky launch of Cyberpunk 2077. They've taken a more careful and methodical approach to the development process this time, aiming to deliver a polished, bug-free experience. Given the ambitious scope of the game and the switch to Unreal Engine 5, the wait could stretch all the way out to 2028. We don't know much about The Witcher 4 yet, but there's still enough to keep people interested. With a new Witcher school, a shift in the story, and all the possibilities that Unreal Engine 5 brings, CD Projekt Red has all the tools needed to push things further in the open world RPG space. Of course, it's going to take a while though. If CDPR pulls it off, The Witcher 4 could be bigger and more innovative than their previous games. In the meantime, there's also The Witcher 1 remake on the horizon, one of my personal favorite games of all time. It's still in early development and probably won't come out until after The Witcher 4, but the idea of turning the original game into an open world experience sounds pretty fucking awesome. So with all those things being said, what do you think about the new direction of The Witcher 4? Are you excited about the possibility of including the School of the Lynx and how it might impact the lore? Would you rather see Ciri as the protagonist, or are you hoping the story takes a different route and maybe you can create your own character? What do you make of our suggestions? Do you have your own? Let us know in the comments below.